Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Also don't forget, we're live tomorrow from 5 p.m. for the Eubank versus Benn watch along. I do think the first fight ring walks at around 7, so that's Chev versus Vidal Riley. So we'll just fill the gap doing the usual Q&A stuff. And then we're going to go all the way up until, I guess, midnight, right? So it's going to be one hell of a long watch along, 7 hours. If you can, please pass through. I'm going to need your energy to keep going for 7 hours by myself. But yeah, tomorrow from 5 p.m, please join me. All right, I did want to do my final thoughts and predictions, but Chris Eubank Jr. hasn't weighed in yet. I'm filming this just before midday. Everyone else has weighed in and they've made weight. Conor Benn's come in quite a lot underweight. We'll talk about that. But in order for me to give you my sincere and honest predictions, I do need to see how Chris Eubank Jr. looks. Remember, this fight is at 160. On the morning of the fight, he can't weigh more than 170. And then after that, he can rehydrate to whatever he wants. I did tweet yesterday, watching the presser. And well done to Jamie Ward. I thought he was fantastic hosting both pressers. But I did tweet that I thought Chris Eubank Jr. looked very... What did I tweet? I said something along the lines of, I'd love to know what he weighs right now. Because I thought he looked really tight in the face. Like, you know, his cheekbones were quite prominent. Compare that to a couple of days ago when they were doing the Grand Arrivals. He looked a bit fuller in the face. So it's a tough weight cut. It's a tough weight cut. You're 35. You've been a super middleweight, which I think is his best weight. I think that's where he looks his best. You go back to that Avni Yildirim performance where he was just super fast and explosive. To be fair, he was really good against Liam Smith as well. But I think 168 is his weight now. As you get older, you're supposed to move up, right? So yeah, he is late. I think he's an hour late now, which, look, it could be mind games. This is Chris Eubank Jr. Or it could be him struggling to get off the last couple of pounds. It could be. I doubt it is, but it's interesting that he hasn't yet weighed in. Again, this is the official weigh-ins. Ceremonial weigh-ins will be at 6 o'clock. All right, let's, as we wait for that, let's get the thoughts and my predictions for all the undercard fights. No fence sitting now. I'm just going to do this. Chris Smith versus Brandon Glanton. By the way, I did not like what Brandon said yesterday about I'm going to give you brain damage, and just don't like that kind of stuff. And look, it's part and parcel of the sport, unfortunately. Some people like it. It's trash talk. I'm not a fan of it. But it's not like we haven't heard this type of stuff before. I mean, Deontay Wilder spoke about a body bag. Mike Tyson's the worst. I mean, I remember when Mike Tyson was going to fight Razor Ruddock, and he said, if Razor Ruddock doesn't die, it doesn't count. His exact words. That was his exact words. If he's not dead, it doesn't count. So it's probably more of an American thing. We don't like that stuff over here. So yeah, it's a bit distasteful, but some will say, look, these guys are about to go to war, and maybe he's now sort of switched on that war mindset. I did say I saw Brandon Glanton in the gym a couple of days ago, and he looked really ready and up for it. This is a step up. This is a step up from anything he's fought. You could argue and say for Chris, this is almost a step down from Zerdo. The question is, what's left with Chris, right? That Zerdo fight was tough. I mean, all the fights Chris has are tough. It's never an easy night's work. You know, I have been saying Glanton for a minute. But I almost feel like I always go against Chris Okoli. I went against Chris Riakporhe, against Chris Zerdo, against Chris. I've only been right one of those times. I'm going to say that Chris still has something left in the well to get the job done in a very, very, very bruising encounter. So I'm going to say Chris Smith to win just. Liam Smith versus Aaron McKenna. I'm a bit more confident in this one. I'm going to say Liam Smith. Aaron McKenna, you know, you have to only go back a couple of years ago. He was doing 8-rounders. And look, don't get me wrong. I mean, he could be and is the much fresher of the two. But I still think there's something left with Liam Smith. It's a shame we didn't see the Josh Kelly fight. He's been out the ring for a long time, since that Eubank 2 fight. So his last performance, he got stopped. But I know for a fact there were issues going into that fight. Everyone will say that, but I mean, I am semi-close with his camp. So, and you know what? He's just an experienced pro. Right? This guy probably has done more 12-rounders than Aaron McKenna's had fights. That's probably true. So he's been there and done it. I'm going to go Liam Smith. I was going to say late stoppage. In fact, let's just stick with that. Liam Smith, late stoppage, I think. This one, Chev Clark, Vidal Riley. I think this is the hardest one to get. This is backs against the wall for Chev here. Backs against the wall. Chev, his age, back-to-back defeats would be very difficult to come back from because of the age, and back-to-back defeats at British level would be very difficult to come back as well. Obviously, the last one was European, but this one's a British title fight. And again, I said this on my car diaries. I don't know if you guys have watched it. I said, like, where Chev wants to be, I speak to Chev. Where Chev wants to be is in that world title mix, right? Eventually fighting for a world title. You can't then lose at British level, can you? I mean, you can if you're 24, 25 and you rebuild and rebuild and rebuild. Daniel Dubois is the perfect example of this, right? When he fought Joe Joyce, you could argue and said it was a British level fight at the time. So you can, but Daniel Dubois at the time was 22, 23. Chev Clark isn't that. I'm going to go Chev. I think Chev's going to eke it out. I think Chev, if Vidal hasn't got the punch power to dent Chev, like the last guy did, that Mascara in Monaco, it fucking enormous. I'm not joking. I looked at his legs. I was like, this guy's fucking a heavyweight that's come down. He was able to dent Chev. He dented him in the first round, but Chev even still recovered from that and found something. Vidal's probably the slicker boxer of the two, but Chev can box. Chev's got power in both hands as well. I'm going Chev to get this one done on points. Yard versus Arthur. This is no disrespect. Somebody said, oh, Addy, you're being disrespectful to Arthur. It's not. I just think Yard's the better boxer of the two, and he proved it the last time they fought. So I'm going Yard to win that one. Round 8 stoppage. That's kind of where I'm leaning on that one. All right, guys, I'm refreshing this. I'm refreshing Ring Magazine's Twitter page. He still hasn't weighed in yet. All right, Conor Benn's coming at 156 pounds. Perfect. By the way, looking at Conor Benn there, looking at him in his face, his physique, Conor Benn has always spoken about, I'm going to go back down to 147 and do some damage. And I've always been like, yeah, whatever. There's no way. You've not fought at 147 for 2.5 years. I'm looking at him here. I do think he can maybe make 147, which is interesting. I said that was out of the question, but honestly, he doesn't look gaunt. Like his face looks like it's sort of very fresh and color. Like he doesn't look like he's really just dying. Like when you see Chris, his face looks really like there's no life in it. Like he looked really light, didn't he? And that might be his complexion, but he looked really light at the press conference. Conor looks good here. 156 for me makes perfect sense. If you don't, and I said this about Terence Crawford going up to fight Canelo, don't make 168. Like, just go above 160, and the fight's a super middleweight fight. And this, I think, makes sense for Conor. They would have had a weight, and their weight would have probably been like 156, 157. It's built for speed. It's probably built for endurance. Like, everyone continually says Conor's only got 4 rounds in him. Conor's probably like, you guys will see. I'm not walking into the ring with sort of heavy weight on my legs. He'll probably walk into the ring seeing this 163. So he's going to be quite light and nimble and nippy. That said, Chris is going to be huge. Now, I know Chris is going to be huge. Now that Chris is struggling to make weight, he's going to make it. Trust Chris. He's never missed weight. He's going to do the morning 170. He'll make that as well. It's going to kill him, but he'll make it. And then that motherfucker is going to balloon. Like, he could probably be 20 pounds heavier, no bullshit, than Conor on fight night. He could be 20 pounds heavier. Like, he could balloon to 181, 182. Conor, maybe, as I said, 163. It might be that much. That being said, this is me not fence sitting. Fucking hell, it's a tough one to pick. I don't know how people are just so easy on picking this. I'm going to go Chris. I think. It's such a hard one. I think Chris is going to get this done based on experience, activity. This is his weight class. I think emotions, I think he'll control. I don't know if Conor can. And that's just some people. That's just not just in boxers. That's just some athletes, right? Some athletes just can't control their emotions. And they need that in order to kind of get them through. But I think Chris has just been in so many more bigger fights. I think Chris hasn't been damaged in those fights. Apart from the Liam Smith one and maybe George Groves, Chris is, he's been okay. He's still got the chin. The weight is my only problem here. But if they, in his team, have somehow managed that weight correctly, then I think he has enough to get it done. I do. So I think Chris is going to win this one on points, but he's going to have to come through fucking hell in the first 4 or 5 rounds. So those are my final predictions. So what have I got? I've got Chris Billam-Smith, Liam Smith, Chev Clark, Lyndon Arthur, Chris Eubank Jr. Don't put any money on that, please. All right, let's see if there is any. It's confirmed now that Brian Norman Jr. will go to Japan to defend against Jin Sasaki in Tokyo on June 19th. I like the fact that he's out straight away, busy. That's good. I like that. Let's see. There was a lot of talk now as well. I think Mike Coppinger spoke about it, that Daniel Dubois taking on Alexander Usyk will now be moved to July 19th. There was obviously some talk about July 12th, Wembley Stadium. There is a big fight card in New York, July 12th. Obviously the one headlined by Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Shiraz. So it makes sense to move it. And not just that, but remember, July 11th is the Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano card as well. So that's almost too much going on, right? So it would have been crazy to have 3 big fight cards on the same weekend. So it makes sense. If you can go the next week, go the next week. And it looks like they're going the next week, which won't affect both guys at all, will it? All right. I think that is it. I mean, there's other little bits and bobs, but this is obviously all Eubank Ben stuff now, isn't it? Guys, girls, again, tomorrow, if you can, please. I know there are so many people doing live watch-alongs, and I'm very happy for everyone to kind of get a bit of support all over the place. But come to your boy. Come to your boy. All right. All right, yeah, no. Just checking. One last time. Has Conor Benn... Sorry, Chris Eubank. Okay, here we go. Okay, Chris Eubank Jr. has weighed in 160.2 pounds. What's going... Oh, my God. Wait. He will be fined $500,000 per the weight clause. So he did 160.2. And then on the second attempt, it was 160.05. Remember, he has to weigh in 160 on the dot. He's going to be fined $500,000 per the weight clause in the contract and cannot exceed 170 pounds at the same day weigh-in tomorrow morning, or he'll face a further penalty. That's crazy. You know what's crazy about that, yeah? Who is the A side and B side on this? Because we're hearing an 18-foot ring, which I'm guessing Conor wanted, the rehydration cap, Conor wanted, and now this. If I'm... Look, Chris is his own boss, but he has to look at... I don't know who... he has to look at his team and say, well, 1 second. How have we signed this contract to agree to all these stipulations? This guy, before he even enters the ring, has paid $100,000 to the British Boxing Board of Control, and now $500,000 fine to... what is going on? Crazy.